Well, good evening, everyone. This is Tom. I'll be your host tonight on Cab Crew Wednesday. And I'd like to say hello to everybody and welcome everybody in. I see Dwight Curley's here. He was the first one in. Floyd Robbins is here. Hi, Floyd. How you doing? John from Scoop Hill Valley. Hi, John. How are you tonight? You guys can hear me okay, right? Yeah, I just have two trains running. Been playing around with them. I got my passenger train running on the lower layout. Once I bring the cameras back up there, you'll see. I finally got an added passenger car to that train. I got two more to make or finish. Thanks for the update there, John. Appreciate it. And it's been a while since I got them going because I put them on a track after I got them. I got them off of eBay. They weren't that expensive. And I knew there was going to be some work to be done on them. But unfortunately, it came with lights, and I put it on my workbench, and the car lit up, and I said, good. And then I put it on the track. As soon as I put it over there, it shorted out. So I had to yank out all of the trucks that they had on there, and then the lights are all taken out because they were just bulbs anyway. So eventually I'll add interior lighting into the passenger cars. The original passenger cars I got on that train don't have any lights in them either, so I'll do that as one whole project later on down the road. So you hear that engine running, that's my point-to-point test train running. I'll show you that in a few minutes too. So that's on my workbench right across from me. And that's what I've been working on, is the train automation stuff. And as I've been automating some of the trains, I run them. And it works out. After doing some of the things originally, I made an adjustment into my plan already on how I want to do things, because the first thing I noticed about the automation, well, they were using a small to change, a turnout. Well, I don't have any turnouts to be changed when I'm running my mainline trains, except for up on the third level. That's where I'll have some changes to be made. But like the point-to-point one that I saw on the video, it was doing a turnout change. And I says, well, my panel isn't going to be that big, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on buying smalls or Cobalt IPs just to switch a light from green to red. So what I decided to do was go to use the NCE Light It and set it up to do that. Because in the mini panel, you can select accessory. Well, you can actually select the signal, and the signal address happens to be 600 in my case here, and I can tell whatever aspect I want. So if I want it, it's green normal, ready to be used, red is in use. And well, the first thing that the routine does is change the aspect to a 0, which is red. So that works. And so the light it's, since they're small, I can mount them right on the back of the panel so that I can don't have to make a lot of long wires and stuff. And then I will connect them all together and just have it joined to the bus line for accessories with one connection instead of 8 connections on the line. So you can daisy chain the lights, but I don't like to do that because if one goes have a problem, you have to remove it, then the others won't work because that one isn't the first one in the list, and that's great if everything would stay and work forever, but that doesn't what happens. So yeah, that's right, Heath. That's the train. Here, I'll bring it up on the screen. Let me see. How do I get that back up there? I don't want that view. I want. How about this view? There we go. Okay. Good evening, John. Bob. This is here's what you're hearing, Heath. Oops, wrong screen. I didn't want to do that. I went exit full screen. Okay, I gotta go up to the big screen. Okay. On the workbench, that's a SW1000 that I just got. That's the box for it. It said it was DCC ready, and it came with a DH123 decoder in it already, but that didn't have sound or anything. This engine here has a, so what I had to do was I got a buddy board for it. I got a Tasami 2 21-pin decoder and a Scale Sound Systems speaker that is made for SW1000 and 1500. And I ordered prematurely another decoder. Well, I'm going to use that one for another engine. It's not making random noises. What it's doing is when that engine starts, it blows the horn in forward twice, reverse 3 times. That's prototypical. When it hits speed step 3, the bell automatically starts playing for 10 seconds. That's what you hear. So it sits at the at that spot for a minute. Then it will reverse and go back to the other end, sit there for a minute, and it keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There it goes. So that's what that's doing. And so that's all being done through the mini panel, which is this device right there. And if you've been seeing my videos on train automation, I've been doing, I have a playlist out there now, so y'all can watch them through the playlist. I'm going to keep on adding to the playlist as I go along. But been working with a couple of guys on this automation. The mini panel is controlling the train movement. the horn and bell is done by the Tasami 2. In the Tasami 2 decoder, you can set a few CVs and you can make it have, when the engine goes forward, it plays the horn. When it goes to a certain speed step, you can start the bell automatically. And in reverse, it does the same thing. And then when the train stops, it plays the horn once. Right? See, now it just did 2 toots, and now it's going forward. And it's playing the bell. It plays the bell for 15 seconds. Almost the length of the track there. And so that's how it's working. The mini panel can blow the horn. It can turn on lights. It can do all that stuff. That's through the function keys in the mini panel. You can say select loco road number 1, 2, 3, and then in the mini panel it has settings for speed and functions, and you can set up a function 0 to 3 or 0 to 4, and then 5 to 8. And I don't think that's all the functions you can set. So like the horn plays with function 2, 1 is the bell, lights is 0, so it's limited to the functions that you can put in it. So you would have to recode the functions to do what you wanted so that it would be going. So hi Tammy and Ray, welcome. And so that'll go back and forth until I go over and hit a toggle switch. And then in the code, if right now the toggle switch is open, which means it's on, that means the train will flow continuously until I want it to stop. So today I had it on for about 3 hours with no glitches. And the last video I did was showing a reed switch and the engine triggering the reed switch. And this is a reed switch. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but that's a reed switch. And they're, I don't know how these guys get them to work, but I'm not having very good luck with the reed switches being consistent. So today, I ordered from Tony's Trains and Exchange. They had some optical sensors, and they have a what's the name of the board? I can't remember. It has a funny name. It's a board that these. Where did I get the reed switches from? RR Concepts, and they're not expensive. I think these were like $2.50 US a piece. So I got a couple of them. I got a couple more coming, but I decided to try the electrical eye type of cell, which you can embed in the track, and then when the train runs over it, it will sense it, and then it'll trigger. So when I get that and the board, you connect these sensors to this board, and then you connect that board to the mini panel, and then it sends the signal to the mini panel. And I don't know how it works yet, but I'm going to figure that out once I get them here. And what was it? I don't know the name of that board from let's see if I can find it. I'll tell you the name of it. Tony's Trains. I gotta find her in my file here. Almost there, folks. Tony's Trains Exchange. I got, it's a Sherlock detector, it's called. Hello, Lashenda West. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, it's called the Sherlock detector from DCC Specialties. And the sensors are DCC Specialties optical sensor. So they will interchange with the mini panel. That's what I read. And that you can mount in a track, or like I did with some of my Azure Track sensors, I made a stand and it's above the surface. Welcome, Darren. And then I'll point across the track. I'm going to try both methods. But what's strange about this reed switch is that when I test it, see on the mini panel, when you configure inputs, then you can, once you get out of configuring, then there's an option 3 which says test. And then when you hit test, it comes up and say, which input do you want to hit? Okay. So the guy I've been working with gave me 4 lines of code, and I put them in as an input, and I did test, and this was still hooked up to the mini panel. Now I took it off because it doesn't work like I want it to. And then I took a magnet and put over it, and then it triggered it on the mini panel. Who's not doing well? So, Wesley's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Wesley. And so when this was working on the track, see, this doesn't fit in between the Code 83 track well. That's a little bit bigger than the opening of the Code 83 track, so I scraped it out a little bit to get it in there, and it fit in, slid right in, but still wasn't working. I put a magnet over it in the test mode, and it worked. I had the same kind of magnet glued onto the bottom of the engine, and I slid the engine over top of it and everything. Wouldn't do it. So either the magnets aren't strong enough, because some guys put these under the roadbed, and then the magnet, triggers it, because that's the only thing I don't know. So I'm going to try the sensors. They're smaller, and like I said, I'm going to try them in the track, and then on the above the track, and see how it works. Because all the trains on here are going to be automated in the mini panel. I got most of the routines written up. I just have to enter them into the mini panels. Like I ran the one train to my left here with the mini panel. I have just 2 buttons laying on the floor in there. so I didn't have a panel yet. And that routine was just used in a particular turnout that I don't use that often to change the light from red to green or green to red, etc. But the panel will have the lights on there and stuff. So right here is my panel. And there's a green light there, and you can barely see it, but that's a red light there. That's the one that's running right now. And then these are push button and a toggle switch. Each one has a push button and a toggle switch. And there's the trains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 trains. So I'll be able to run 10 trains. Hey guys, hit that like button. I can run 10 trains at the same time by just pushing a button and no interaction with the power cab unless there's a derailment. Like if I go over there right now and okay, I just hit the toggle switch. And if you notice, it wasn't on the one that I don't have that button hooked up. See, the light just switched to green, which means it's now ready. And hi, Ronald, welcome. It's just it's ready now to be, I'd have to go there and push the button again to make it run again. So it can run, you can let it run for hours on hours and no problem. Hey, Ronald, did I say hello to you? I think so. So it could run, forever, or you just run it through a routine, turn it off. These guys set this stuff up for train shows so that people can run the train. They just have a button there for a user to push the button, and then the train runs. And the third level is going to be the most difficult one to do because there's 4 trains up there, and I can have 2 trains running at the same time. The other 2 trains I can only run because the track goes across the inside track to get to the outside track. I have an inside loop and then the big loop that go around. And it's going to be, hey, James, welcome. It's going to be an interesting algorithm to get the code set up properly so that I can run the trains. I could have one train go, then another one go, that one stops while the other one goes, stuff like that. So it's going to be, they can't win all the time, James. They just do that to make the game interesting, right? So let me change this screen. Now you see there's a double deck passenger car that I just added to the passenger train as it's going under the bridge. Right there, I had to do some work on the road material that was between the tracks and everything. That's why you see that white spot there. I'll eventually paint it black. I think I got it worked out now. So, and this train has been hesitating over here somewhere. I've been troubleshooting that most of the day, trying to figure out what that is. Clean the track. It still hesitates. It goes around about 10, 15 times, then it hesitates. And then it continues, but nothing. Yes, the mini panel is from NCE. Yes. Yeah, NCE makes the mini panel. So I used the mini panels before for all my push button panels. Lisa, very good, Floyd. And then when I took them down to replace them with these Alpha Centrals that you see right here, and they go all the way over to that side. There's 6 of them there. That replaced 12, 13. I had 13 push button panels on my layout for different turnouts. And 2 of them I never did get working right. Oh, James Ingram Heath is the gentleman that I've been working with. He's on YouTube. That's where I found out about this. I was just perusing YouTube one day, and I saw how to run trains with your NCE mini panel. And after this was just after I took all the buttons off of the mini panel, all the wires off of the mini panel, everything was taken off of the mini panels. And I had 3 mini panels here, and they have 30 inputs on the mini panel. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a train automation, Heath. I just came across it by dumb luck. It was just happened to be on my screen when you go into YouTube, you get all kinds of videos show up there. And then the other day I was surprised my own video showed up on there. That was pretty funny that I saw that. That was like the first time I ever seen that happen. I've seen notifications of my videos sometimes, but there you go. So it's just so that's how I got onto it. And when I saw that, I said, hey, might as well use those panels, mini panels for something. So I took one off of the layout, put it on my workbench, and then I started playing around with the code that I got from James Ingram. And he's a real nice guy. He's given me some other guys to get in touch with. And but most of the stuff is O and S scale. And for a reed switch like this kind would be fine for an O scale train because the track is a lot bigger. Well, I'm HO in code 83, and I think it has problems. So I even cut out a hole in the roadbed there and set this in there and then ran the train over it, and it still didn't trigger it. So, see, these are supposed to be normally closed. And then in the code, you would say wait on input, and this was 15 to be ground. So that's what I coded it up as first, and it never did nothing. So then I said, let me try it with open. So I changed it to open, and then it started working. But that's not correct. So I can't, I tried to call the guy who makes these, but he didn't post his phone number on the site. I got to email him. I want to talk to him about it and find out more about these. Yeah, it lives in the mini panel. That's correct. You have, in the mini panel, you have 30 inputs. And each input has 4 steps in each input. So you have input 0, 1, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Input 2, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So you can have a lot of code in there. And then you have to go into the mini panel setup and change a memory setting so that it'll continue. Because what happens is in a mini panel, you start out with a couple of lines of code, like, for example, I changed the signal to be red. Hey, Mike, welcome. To be red. Then I select the engine. I set the speed. I have a delay in there. That's the 4 steps in one. Well, it'll never go down to 2. So what you had to do is only 3 steps, and then the 4th step would be a link to. You can do a link to step 2, link to step 3, link to step 4. But that's wasting a lot of code. So in the mini panel, you have a memory setting. I think it's number 3, memory setting 3. And you set that to a value of a 1. It's set default to 0. Set it to a 1. That makes the code continuous. So you drop down through the code 1 dot step 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll go to 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can put in wait commands, you can put in delay commands, you can put in a lot of different type of commands in your code, and like the routine to run this is like, I don't know, 11 lines of code. So what I do is go down through, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Hey, Kyle Stevens, welcome. And it then goes down to an area where it says wait on input, and that's from the toggle switch. So if that's open, which means it's on, it then does a go to link 1, which goes back to the top, and it starts running the engine back and forth again, back and forth. It keeps going through that loop. But there's a skip statement. If that is closed or off, the next statement after the wait is a skip. You skip 1. So you always just skip 1 step. So the next step was to go to link 1, but you're not going to do that. You're going to skip that step. And then the next step after that is change the signal back to green and then terminate the routine. That's how you get out of the routine. Yeah, right. Well, first of all, I don't drink coffee, so I have no desire to set it up to do coffee. You can connect relay switches to the mini panel. So if you can get a relay switch to turn on your coffee maker, then you could do it. But something would have to trigger that relay to come on. You can have a turnout change, and then that would turn the coffee maker on. I have Alexa here to turn on and off all my stuff in my house. I don't need to have the mini panel do it. But so that train that's coming around now, I got them off of eBay, right? And then when I took them apart to take the Alexa can turn on a coffee maker. If you have a coffee maker that supports the Alexa app, and they have them. Okay, I'm going to make myself bigger again, because I want to show you Look how rusty the inside of that car is. That was, I don't know how old these cars are. They're, what brand are they? Made in Germany. I can't read the name because it's in German. I have to send it to, what's his name up there. So I took this one and started grinding it down and getting off all the rust, because eventually I'm going to put in there a circuit board to light up the lights and get some wheels. Well, the wheels on here, these are the ones that I got. And the ones that came with it were an odd size. They weren't 36s and they weren't 33s. I don't know what size they were, but they did not run well on the Code 83 track and kept on derailing. So I 3D printed my own truck, and then I went out and bought some 36 wheels. And do you have block detection with resistor wheel sets? Yes, I do. All my track is blocked. I forget the number of blocks I have. I have so many, I can't remember them all. And all the BD20s control the blocks, and they're all connected to a mini panel. I mean, not a mini panel, an NCE AIU01. Yeah, all you see is black. Yeah, it's tough to see that. It doesn't look black. It's not black. Trust me, it's all rusted. And I could go like this, and I might have took my finger and did that. Maybe that'll. You see the scrapes on there? Does that help it? So I got to sand them all down. The one that's on the track there, I just wanted to test the 36-inch wheels and get that to work. Yeah, I'm planning to go down the rabbit hole of adding resistors to wheel sets. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, I started doing that, Heath, and I had no luck. I mean, I put the little resistor on an angle on the end and used that special electrical paint that they had told you to use. I couldn't get them to do work. I put them on, and I put them on a train, and then I would put them on the track where there were no cars, and then JMRI should lit up and was getting no resistance out of it at all. I even put it on the meter, no resistance at all. So I must be doing something wrong. I see guys doing it in the videos all the time, adding. I would love to be able to add resistors to wheel sets, but I just get mine from a guy I know. He does a good job, JB Wheel Sets, and that's who I get mine from. And he even makes me wheels with a brass tube on it, which I can then solder a wire on, and then that's how I set up all my sound cars with that wheel with the brass tube, so that spins so that the wire doesn't get all tangled and it doesn't get caught up in the track or anything, and you get connectivity, and it works great. So I get them from him too. 33, 36. I think he makes 28. I'm not sure. I don't know. I thought he had N scale too, Heath. I'm pretty sure he did. there are some bad conductive paint out there. Yeah, maybe I got a bad bottle. I don't know. I don't even. I have it in a box with my wheels. All the little titty bitty resistors, little itty bitty things to put on there. I don't mind doing that because I have a lot of track here. Hey, Waycross, welcome. Um, yeah, that's the whole thing. So maybe I had a bad bottle of that conductive paint, and I forget where I got it from. That was a long time ago when I started doing that. And I still have a lot of cars. Well, all the cars that I 3D printed, they don't have resistor wheels, and I'd like to have them have resistor wheels because it helps you know where the whole train is. At least some of my trains have the EOT on the end, and that car gives you that there's something in the block. So that's what I've been doing. And if I ever can get the those working again, that'd be nice, and I don't have to buy a bunch more because I have so many. The EOT works if the train is not so long, it extends to 3 blocks. Well, it works. I have a train that spans over 2 blocks up on the 3rd level, and the EOT is the only car that's pulling power, and both blocks are occupied. So I never had 3 blocks. It's not a train without a caboose. Well, I have some trains up here with a caboose on them. Up on the 3rd level, I think one of my trains has a caboose. It's a lighted caboose. I made it lighted. It wasn't one that you can buy now. They didn't have them when I wanted to do that. Now they have them. You can get them all lighted and sound and everything in them. The electronics store, yeah. So let me see. Let me bring back up. No. There we go. That's back. And the train's coming around again. There's 14 levels in that helix, Randall. I haven't tested the time it takes to go from the bottom to the top with an engine pulling a couple cars. It takes a while. All the turnouts on the helix, except for the ones going into the subway system, are all automatic. They automatically change as the train approaches to be the right orientation that you need. I do that with Track equipment. I don't know about that, Heath. I don't run my trains too fast. Like that passenger train is running speed step 20. That's the fastest I'll run. The freight train on my left here, which is down this way. See my mouse? this side of the layout, it's not on the screen right now, is I think I run that at 15 speed step. That's because there's a couple of inclines up there. No, I don't do Sparky speed, Randall. Some people like to run fast. I like my trains to run slow. 2? Okay. You're gonna make me move the camera, right? Don't get dizzy, guys. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them there. (40-mile-per-hour) model speed. So what's that in speed steps, Sparky? Yeah, everybody likes to run them the way they want to run them. That's the beauty of model railroading. If you were working for a railroad, you'd have to abide by what they wanted to do, right? You have your own railroad, you can run 40 miles an hour is in 1-to-1 speed in your models. For most engines, around 40 to 50 on NCE. I don't know. Nah, that's too fast. I'll run it like if I'm cleaning the track, I'll run it a little faster to push the car that's doing the track cleaning and stuff like that. But normally they don't run that fast. Like that passenger train's at speed step 20, but it's not running that fast. I don't have elevated tracks. I only have one spot where I have an elevated track because I was having a problem, and I don't remember where that was now. It was on the bridge when I redid the bridge to elevate it so I could run double stacks on the first level. Well, actually, I raised that bridge so I can get my Mevo camera underneath it, and then I had the added bonus of double stacks working. How long have I been building this layout? Well, this will be, I moved in the house in 2020. In July of 2020, I moved into the house. So about a year later, 2021. I've been working on this since 2021, off and on. More than 2 weeks. Yeah, more than 2 weeks is right. Yeah, you can't run fast in the yard. I don't know what the maximum speed is in the yard, but it can't be fast. Yeah. Yeah, I hear the clickety clack through on my trains too. I got the Sasami 2 decoder set up to do that. Yeah. Yeah, it's been some interesting stuff. So when I get them sensors from Tony's Trains Exchange, then this passenger train I'll be able to stop it at the train station on the other side. So Heath has now seen my 6 Alpha Centrals. Right there, if you can see my mouse, that's a train station. So once I get the automation working, it'll stop at the train station for a minute, then continue around, stop, continue around, stuff like that. So, and then I have 2 more cars to add to that train. Then that train will be done. So. Yeah. So, but that was the only dilemma I had. Like I said, in the automation, was getting these reed switches to be more consistent. So I even changed its position on the track. I ran it parallel with the rails. I ran it across parallel with the railroad ties. Made no difference. So that was my only dilemma. Or I'd have that train running, and the panel, I still have a lot of wiring to do on the panel to get it all done. And then I just got to make sure that no wires cross. I'm going to paint all the exposed connections on the back of that, so I don't have to worry about things. Once you put it up on the layout, then I won't have to worry about it. I put a board underneath the layout, screwed it into it, and then I can screw this panel onto that board, because the layout where it's going, you see this laptop here? That's my JMRI laptop, and it's covering up the hole in the cloth there. That's where that panel's going. So I slide that thing back and forth as I need it to work on layouts and stuff. So it helps out. So today I woke up, and I always let my dog out. Goes out the door that's behind me. No, Jammer, I can run on a Alpha Raspberry Pi if you want to mess around with that. But that laptop there has 32 gig of memory in it because of all the panels that I'm running. I got that screen there on the laptop. On the wall that you guys can't see, I don't have a yeah, I have cherry pie in the refrigerator. I'm going to have a piece after the screen. I have 2 monitors on the wall, on this wall, a smaller one with 2 panels on it, and the big screen has 3 panels on it. So that's how I set that up, and to work that way. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, so I woke up this morning, came into the train room. I let my dog out for his morning doo-doo, and I just can leave him out here. I got a fence so he don't run around. Just runs around in the yard. And I noticed that the lights on the subway system, and if you can see the blue lights here, right? Well, they were off. That's fine. But the train station lights, which you can see barely down that far, but when you're down here, you can see them a lot better because you're on the floor level. Um, they were still on. Now they're all on automated with home assistant and these devices that you plug in, and then you plug the devices that you want to be automated, and then in home assistant you configure everything that you want to do, and then in JMRI it connects to home assistant with MQTT code, and then you put in lights table, and the lights tables tell home assistant when to turn on the devices. So my lights start to come on at 5 o'clock in the evening, and at 7:15 is the last thing that comes on. So what's MQTT? You don't know MQTT? That's in JMRI. You need MQTT to communicate with home assistant. Okay, so they were still on. Well, here the laptop was off. Updates applied last night, and I killed the updates process on that computer. But a couple weeks back, I was having no response from my JMRI panel, so I restarted the computer. And when I restarted it, it reactivated the update routines. And I didn't realize that. So the machine updated. I restarted the laptop, started the home assistant software, started JMRI, and then once JMRI came up, the lights table said, hey, this is supposed to be off, and it turned off the lights. Good. But in the past, when it's done that, one of those devices started going bonkers, kept on going on and off, on and off, on and off, and I had to replace it. So I was lucky there. I go into my office where I have my computer, which is normally where I live stream from. The computer was off too. So it did the same thing. It updated. Well, powered on a computer. My right monitor is the main monitor, and the left monitor is the secondary monitor. The right monitor wouldn't power on. I go, what's going on? The power button was going from blue to yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, back and forth. So I unplugged it from the computer, and then at least my computer came up, and I only have one monitor now. So I ordered another monitor. It'll be here tomorrow, hopefully, and then I can get that back up and working. I have to have two monitors. I can't work with this one monitor. It drives me crazy. Yeah, minimize. Then sometimes you accidentally close it, stuff like that. So it's so that's what happened to me this morning, and I had to get another monitor to come in, and I got the same kind of monitor that I got when it happened with my other monitor last time, and I had a 3D print special bracket so that it'll mount on the big monitor, dual monitor bracket I have back there. So I just printed one of those. It finished before the show. I'll let it cool down and take it off. And yeah, more wall space. Yeah, well, you have cramped quarters there, Heath. You gotta make do with what you have. That's all. I'm lucky. I have plenty of room in this room that I can do this stuff. Like where I'm sitting right now in the train room, I'm up against the wall that's right next to the front door. there's a piece of wall that's only about 2 feet wide, and that's where this table is. And then on the wall above me, I have a big screen TV which has all these cameras on it. So it's gonna. Oh, Heath is coming on live in a few minutes. So some people do. When I did DirecTV, I was installing DirecTV. We went to this one guy's house. We had it installed DirecTV in 27 different rooms. He had 27 flat screen TVs. Even the maid had a big screen, flat. I don't remember what size they were back then. I think they were 27-inch or 30-inch flat screen TVs. He had in the bathroom and everything. So what are you going to do? Somebody's leaving. Bob. Okay, Bob, thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you the next time. So, yeah, well, Heath's going to go live soon. And I just wanted to stay on for a little, around an hour or so, just to keep the cab crew guys going here. I'll be live again next week for those who are interested. And maybe we'll have more to show next week. You never know. But I want to thank everybody for stopping in and spending the time with me here. I appreciate everyone. This one little request to everyone that's here. If you watch any of my videos, I need watch hours. So if you can watch my playlist, just put them on and do something else. You don't have to watch them all. Just put them on there. I want to see if my watch hours build up by having a few people watching those. I don't know how long I have to make them, how many videos or whatever, but that's how it goes. So thanks everyone for stopping in. I'm going to end the stream in a minute here. And just want to again thank everybody for coming in, and I appreciate you all. Everybody have a great week, what's left of it, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.